guys, it's Cassie and today I'm going to be talking about the 2022 fashion trends that you need to know about, okay? Whether you're looking to get involved or simply to prepare yourself for what is to come, I am here to deliver the fashion trends of 2022 that we've been seeing a lot cropping up on the spring-summer runway. Some of these are trends that we have seen towards the back end of this year, carrying on into next year. Some of these are brand new. I'm here to get you up to date. Guys, if you are new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put out videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, then you're going to love it here. So head down there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. When are we going to rehab? Never. Okay guys, are you ready? Trend number 1, nostalgia. This is definitely a trend that we have seen a lot this year. Things are not slowing down with the revival of Y2K. Now, a little bit of bad news because what we saw this year has been palatable and more wearable compared to what we're going to be seeing a lot of in 2022. One thing that pains me to report is that low rise is back in a big way, and that is just... It tastes like poison coming out of my mouth, to tell you. We've been seeing a little bit of low rise this year, mainly with jeans trends and stuff like that. But as Miu Miu has come to demonstrate, we are very much seeing Paris Hilton early 2000s, the simple life vibes. It is, for lack of a better word, terrifying. And while this is an extreme interpretation of the trend, you know, you probably have to make sure that you've been waxed before you wear that skirt. But another way that we're seeing it is in like these very like butterfly tops. Like, we remember butterflies were really having a moment back then. I don't know why. I don't know how animals sort of fall in and out of fashion trends. I'm not sure. But butterflies are back. Blue Marine was showing their sort of like little butterfly crop tops, which we're definitely not seeing the end of. We're going to be seeing more of this nostalgia. We're going to be probably seeing a frosty eyeshadow before we know it, and rollerball, sodding lip glosses and all of that, and a little terry cloth sort of shoulder bag. It's gonna be, prepare yourselves. Now, following on from that nostalgia, trend number 2 is mini skirts. Now, I showed you Miu Miu's very extreme version of this, but we're seeing this a lot in other brands done in more wearable, maybe more realistic ways. I don't know, because I'm just saying, if I was to wear that Miu Miu one, I would be arrested for public indecency like this the moment I stepped out of my house, okay? It's not, nothing would be covered. But we are seeing Dior do this in a kind of very 60s way, you know? A very sort of little bit A-line, tailored skirt, block colours, that sort of thing. Chanel is doing it in a very Chanel way. They're sort of dipping back into their like 90s vibes, but not quite. You know, Chanel 90s was a lot more sexy than Chanel is now. But we're seeing those kinds of elements come back. Now, what I quite like about mini skirts in general is that you can wear them at the rise that feels comfortable for you. I am definitely a mid to high rise kind of girl, okay? And I definitely think also in the colder months, mini skirts are really cute with tights and a boot, that kind of thing, and are obviously very wearable for a spring summer moment. So I think that this is something that a lot of us can jump on the back of and make work for us and our styles. Okay, trend number 3 is a bag trend, clutches. Clutches are here in a big way, and we've really seen a rise over the last couple of years, spearheaded by, dare I say, the Bottega Veneta pouch. Whether you like it or not, it really has been seen left, right and centre, and it's really kind of paved the way for a lot of brands to do their version of clutches, and we're seeing it heavily in 2022. Some to note, even Hermes, who, you know, is never sort of like trendy. I don't think anybody would use the word trendy to describe Hermes, but even they've come out with this sort of very clutch-esque bag. It will have a longer strap, but primarily it was styled and worn as like a little clutch moment. We've seen the Fendi First come up this year, and that is going to be one of the kind of like core Fendi bag styles. We've seen Chanel do this on the runway, those kind of little clutch-esque bags. Is it a clutch, is it not, whatever. Even bags that aren't necessarily clutches being styled or carried as clutches. On the Loewe runway, they were kind of using crossbody bags but carried as clutches. So that might be a cool way if you wanted to participate in the trend but you didn't want to spend on something specifically a clutch to be for the trend. Just a little way that one can adapt. Now, this wasn't an easy trend to convert me. I was very like, are we serious? Like, we're doing clutches? Like, oh my gosh, I need all of my hands available. But to be honest with you, the more I've seen it, the more I'm like, okay, I just need to find the one that works for me, you know? Trend number 4, metallics. Now, this is something that we see crop up a lot pretty much every year when it comes to autumn, winter, you know, Christmas party. Get your glitters out and your sequins out for the lads. But we are now definitely seeing it heavily for spring, summer, which is interesting. But I think it kind of follows on from this sort of dopamine dressing, or like really taking advantage of moments to really dress up and show up to show out, following being cooped up inside for a long time and all of that. What I like about this trend for 2022 is that when you think of metallics, you think of gold and silver. All of the colours within the rainbow are considered this time. You've got Fendi doing like champagnes and oysters, Peter Joe with whites, Paul and Joe with like very sherbety looking delicious sweetie colours. And although these tend to be on kind of more evening-y kind of looks, I think what's really nice is that some people like Tom Ford are doing them in kind of individual pieces that you could style more casually, or you can definitely dress up for, you know, that high impact evening moment. Trend number 5. This trend, it always creeps back after a couple of years, and I was like, oh, we're done with it for a while. Now we're back, sodding Fringe. I, for one, have never been a fan of Fringe, okay? I find it logistically annoying. It's like when you get out of a car, you have to make sure that the bottom of your dress or the bottom of your bag hasn't been caught in the door. But obviously there are exceptions, and there are some pieces that do it very well, or brands or whatever, but this is something that we're going to be seeing a lot in 2022. Rodarte, Dior, Armani, Oscar de la Renta, they are all doing their version of this, and it tends to be in more of those evening-y, event-like dresses, less kind of more casual moments. Trend number 6 that we definitely saw kind of creep up on the scene at the end of 2021, catsuits. As much as I love a catsuit, and I really do, there's just something very like sexy about a catsuit when done well. Nobody seems to be concerned about the toilet situation. Now, this happens with catsuits, this happens with jumpsuits, this happens with like little romper situations. There's always that sort of awkward fox moment. You go to the toilet and you are sat just naked on the toilet contemplating life. It's a very vulnerable position to be in. Nobody seems to have come up with a way to circumvent this awkward fox moment. Nonetheless, half of Saint Laurent's collection was catsuits. Marine Sarah's doing it in like a patterned way. We've seen Balenciaga do this. Kim seems to be like a Balenciaga ambassador or something at the moment. She's been wearing a lot of these catsuits with the coat. I think that's the best way to style a catsuit, truly. It's also a way that you feel less exposed as a person. Unless, like, you're fully willing to be out there, just like, look at me in my catsuit, then, like, good on you, I love that for you. But for some of us that maybe need, like, a tiny bit more comfort, just like a coat or, like, a long, fabulous coat just to pull it all together, looks fantastic every single time. Trend number 7, XXL bags. So, while the mini bag trend, TBE, is still going very strong, okay? Just want to make everybody aware of that. TBE, tiny bag energy, do your thing. We are also seeing the complete opposite end of the spectrum happening here. So whether you're team TBE or team BBE, big bag energy, there is something for you in 2022. Going on the extreme side, Richard Quinn came out with a tote that was like, actually the same size as the first kind of flat I had by myself in London. But on a more wearable side, we saw Chanel kind of do it with a drawstring situation on the runway. Max Mara coming out with like leather totes. There's a Louis Vuitton one, which is like an interesting colour block moment that also has a crossbody strap. Big totes haven't necessarily ever been out, but they're just being highlighted a lot more in 2022. Trend number 8, platform heels. The higher the heel, the closer to God. Yes. Okay, the last couple of years, the focus when it comes to heels has not been on platforms. It has been a very Amina Muaddi silhouette, right? It's been no platform, a kind of reasonable heel height, that kind of thing. But more and more now we are seeing platforms, something like the Versace Avitas, is that how you pronounce it? I have no idea. Brat's shoe is a prime example of this. It is go big or go home. And again, these are the extremities. You can do this in a very wearable, normal way. And it's not like it's only sort of stripper-esque heels, like big platform, stiletto heel, pleasers vibes that are happening. No, you can have a chunky front platform and a chunky heel so that you can walk on those all night and still service looks. If you're looking for the stripper shoe, YSL brought a lot of these down the runway, styled with very, like, I don't know, not necessarily conservative, but very sort of like chic tailored looks. It was just like the juxtaposition of it I thought was glorious. Chanel even have done this where they've got their like hot sandal of spring 2022 with the CCs all over it. They're doing it in a platform and non-platform version so that you have the option there. Maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, Gucci came out with these platform heels. These are my like nautical stripper shoes, I like to call them. I love these sodding shoes, but they're showing similar things going down the runway for their Love Parade collection, which I believe is their spring 2022. Trend number 9. Bras as tops, okay? Let's not all sort of recoil in horror, because there are ways of doing this that I think can suit a lot of people who are wanting to participate in the trend, obviously. This is, aside from like just straight up bras, bralettes, bikini tops being worn as tops as part of outfits, it's also bras being like cut into dresses. David Comer was doing this. It's also styled with a jacket, okay? So it's not just like, here I am, oh god, with my bikini top and my mini skirt and see my midriff, you know? Although, I mean, you could do that if you wanted to, go off sis. But they are being kind of styled with jackets as more of a complete look. Tom Ford was doing this with kind of like duster coats. Fendi and Laquan Smith were doing this in sort of like suiting situations. So again, there's a little bit more closure than just sort of like bra, bottoms, you know? So again, you can adapt this trend to do it in a way that makes you feel comfortable. It can look sporty, it can look, you know, sexy. You can do maybe like a sequined bralette as part of a going out look with a tailored jacket or something like that. I think that it's really quite an adjustable trend. I'm definitely planning on doing this for a spring summer moment with like high-waisted shorts and possibly a shacket, shirt jacket. I shall be participating. Guys, let me know what you think about the 2022 trends. Are there any that you'll be jumping on? Are there any that you're like, never in a million years would I ever be seen doing that? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to leave a link to another video here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon or evening wherever you are. And in the words of my father,
if you've enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you haven't, keep your mouth shut.
I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye, guys.